Eli sat on the roof of his house, staring at the stars. It was quiet except for the soft wind moving through the desert. Below him, his mom walked through her garden, checking on the tall green plants that grew in neat rows. She always called them her medicine. Others in town just called it weird desert weed. He didn't understand why she cared so much. They lived in a small, dusty town, far from big cities or spaceports. Nothing exciting ever happened. But tonight felt strange. The air had a smell he didn't recognize. Not just the usual sweet scent of the plants, something older, something electric. His mom looked up suddenly and said, "Eli, come down now." He jumped off the roof and ran to her. "What's going on?" "It's time," she said calmly, holding a small wooden box in her hands. She had never shown him that box before. "Time for what?" he asked, confused. She opened the box. Inside were a few dry seeds and a glowing stone, soft green like her plants. "Our family has waited 10,000 years for this moment." Blinked. "Mom, are you okay?" She smiled gently. "I always thought I was just a farmer, but I've been guarding something. Oh, something powerful. Something from before history was erased." He stared at her, speechless. "Long ago," she said, "humans were taken. Our minds were locked, our memories erased. The galaxy enslaved us without chains. They made us forget who we were. Of us kept the truth hidden, and now it's waking up again." "Because of your weed?" I asked, still not believing her. She nodded. "It's not just weed. It's a memory plant. Grown from seeds passed down from the last days of freedom, the leaves carry the truth in their smoke. And now that the stars are aligned, it's calling out." A low hum started from the ground. The soil near the plants shook gently. Lights blinked under the dirt. "This is real," Eli whispered. His mom handed him the seeds and the glowing stone. "You have to plant these on the hill. That's where it all began." Eli's hands trembled as he took the box. "Why me?" "Because your blood still remembers," she said. "You're part of the last bloodline that resisted, and the plant chose you." He followed her out of the garden, across the dry land, and climbed the rocky hill nearby. The stars above seemed brighter now. The ground pulsed with a soft glow. Matching the stone in his hand, "Plant the seeds," she said. Eli knelt, dug a small hole, and dropped the seeds in. He placed the stone beside them. Suddenly, the earth shook harder. Dust flew into the air. The hill cracked open with a deep rumble. From under the ground, something huge began to rise. Eli stepped back in shock. It was a shiphold, covered in roots and vines, but shaped like a sleek blade. Lights came on along its surface, glowing green like the stone. "What is this?" Eli asked. "Her name is Cora," his mom said. "She was built by free humans before they were taken. They've been asleep, waiting for the signal." A ramp extended from the ship. The door opened slowly. Inside was darkness and silence. Then a voice echoed out. "You finally woke me," said the ship. "I smelled the blood of the last king." Eli's heart pounded. "What do you mean?" Soft light moved inside the ship, forming a glowing female face in the air. It was the ship's AI. "Your ancestors were the last to fight," said the voice. "Your mother has guarded the seeds. The memory plant has done its job. Now, I remember everything." Eli looked at his mom. "You knew all this time?" "Yes." She said, "I raised you to be kind, strong, and patient. Because one day, the galaxy would come for us. And you'd have to decide what kind of human you want to be." The ship's AI Cora spoke again. "I thought they buried the past. But the plant you call weed held the truth in its smoke. It passed through breath, through dreams, through time, and now. We will make them remember." Eli took a deep breath. The wind carried the scent of the green plants below. It smelled like home, but now he knew it was more than that. It was history. It was fire. "What do I do now?" he asked. "You learn," said Cora, "and you prepare. Because the signal has been sent, and they are coming."
"Who?"
Eli asked. His mom looked up at the sky. "The ones who made us forget. The ones who ruled us in silence. They will come to destroy what we've awakened. Eli looked at the ancient ship glowing in the night, the wind brushing his face, and the seeds still glowing in the soil. He wasn't just a boy from the desert anymore. Something inside him stirred. Not fear, something older. Something like memory, and far above them, in the deep silence of space, old enemies stirred. The past was no longer buried. In the darkness of space, a signal pulsed. It wasn't loud, but it was older than any current star chart. It traveled through ancient frequencies, reaching hidden satellites that hadn't blinked in thousands of years. The Alcar Empire, far from Earth, received the signal first. Deep inside their high council chamber, alarms lit up red. A tall, scaled being named Commander Telvix slammed his fist on the table. That signal should not exist. It was destroyed. Another alien, his skin like polished stone, leaned forward. This means the memory plant has bloomed. It means someone has remembered. Whispers of fear filled the chamber. Not because humans were strong. No, because humans remembered. And memory, to the Alcar, was the most dangerous weapon. Back on Earth, Eli sat inside the ship Cora, staring at the glowing walls. Cora was teaching him through old files, memories locked in light and sound. Images flashed of Earth before the fall. Humans with bright eyes, strong minds, and strange machines. We once had cities that floated in the sky, Cora said. That sang through the stars, plants that remembered everything. Eli leaned forward. How did we lose all that? The Alcar came in peace at first, Cora explained. They offered help, healing, energy, and we took it. Slowly. They rewrote our books. They dimmed our stars. They replaced truth with comfort. And when they were done, no one remembered what came before, except the plants, Eli whispered. Cora nodded. Couldn't erase the plant. It was part of your biology. That's why they banned it. It's called it useless. Dangerous. And those who grew it, they were hunted. He thought of his mom. All these years, people laughed at her garden. No one knew she was protecting the last hope. They will come now, Cora said. They will try to burn the earth again. Outside, his mom worked in the garden like always, calm, steady. She looked up at the sky once and smiled. She had waited so long for this moment, and now that it had come, she felt no fear. The next morning, strange lights appeared in the sky fast. Silent, silver shapes moving above the clouds. People across the world posted videos online. News. Channels called it a rare meteor storm. But Eli knew better. In a nearby city, a tall man with glowing eyes arrived. His name was Vorin. He wore a long coat and spoke in a voice that made people listen. He visited leaders, scientists, and old archives. He said he was part of a galactic research group. No one questioned him. No one remembered that the Alcar used to do the same thing. But this time, people were starting to remember. Eli walked through town with a small satchel of dried leaves, his mom's plant. When he gave them to people and they burned just a little, the smoke made them quiet. Then wide, dash-eyed memories returned in flashes. Some cried, some fainted. But all of them saw the same thing: giant alien towers, chains made of light, and skies filled with burning human ships. The truth was spreading in the sky. One of the Alcar scout ships hovered silently. Inside, Telvix watched the data. The awakening is faster than we expected, one of his officers said. The memory smoke is in the air, spreading through cities. Telvix hissed, "Send word to the Central Fleet. If they remember who they are, we won't be able to control them again." Back on the hill, Eli stood beside Cora's ship. He could feel the land under his feet pulsing like a heartbeat. The seeds he had planted were growing fast. Strange vines twisting out of the earth, wrapping around the base of the ship. Green lights flowed through them like rivers of memory. "What are these vines?" he asked. "They are conduits," Cora answered. "They carry memory to the world. As they grow, more people will remember." "Can the Alcar stop it?" Cora's voice grew cold. "They will try. They may burn cities, poison the soil, lie again, die. But the plant remembers. Now the world is listening." Eli looked up at the sky, where faint shadows of the alien ships, moved like silent birds. "We need to fight," he said. "You will," Cora replied, "but not with lasers or bombs. Your first weapon is truth." That night, Eli and his mom recorded a message. They spoke calmly, told the world about the memory plant, the truth hidden in the smoke, and the enemies above their heads. They posted it online, shared it with everyone. The video spread fast. It was too fast for the Alcar to stop. Across the world, people lit small fires and burned the leaves. Some gathered in fields, some in city alleys. Everywhere the smoke spread, memories returned. And in each memory, the name of the enemy appeared. One farmer saw a vision of alien ships stealing his ancestors' water. A teacher remembered a classroom where alien thoughts were pushed into young minds and old. Woman cried when she saw her great-grandfather fighting with glowing swords before falling into chains of silence. The world changed in one night and far in space. The main Alcar fleet began moving. Dozens of massive ships turned toward Earth, their engines burning black and red. The Empire would not allow truth to rise again, but back on Earth, something else had awakened. Not fear, not anger, but memory. And memory would not kneel. Eli stood in the garden as the morning sun lit the sky. Vines now covered most of the hill where Cora's ship had risen. The green light running through the plants was brighter. Nearby, more seeds were sprouting. The land felt alive, and the air was filled with a warm, rich smell. It was no longer just a plant garden. It was now a place of awakening. Cora hovered above the soil as a light form, her face calm but sharp. The Alcar coming faster than expected. Their main fleet will reach orbit in 3 days. Eli took a deep breath. We stop them? You don't stop them with war. You stop them by reminding every human who they are. His mom stepped forward, holding a basket of dried leaves. That's why we keep spreading the plant. People need to see what was taken from them. Handed the basket to Eli. Go to the next town. Start the fire there. It's your turn now. Eli nodded, then looked at Cora. Can I take the ship? She's not ready to fly. His mom answered for her. But she can protect you. Cora's voice agreed. I'll project myself through the plant's roots. Wherever they grow, I can speak and defend. With a small pouch of leaves and a memory of courage burning in his chest, Eli walked to the nearby town. It took most of the day, but by sunset, he reached the edge of the dusty streets. He saw fear on people's faces. The strange ships in the sky had made everyone nervous. A group of people stood around a screen at the town square. A news anchor spoke of strange weather and global panic. Art. Eli stepped forward. They're lying, he said, loud enough to be heard. Those ships aren't from any government. They're from the empire that took our minds. Some people turned. A few laughed nervously. What are you talking about, kid? Eli opened the pouch and dropped a few dried leaves into a small fire pit nearby. The flames grew green for a moment, and smoke drifted into the air. Just breathe it in, Eli said softly. Just a little. A silence fell as the smoke touched the first people. Their eyes widened. Some gasped. One woman fell to her knees, tears falling. I remember, she whispered. My grandmother. She told me stories when I was little. I thought they were dreams. Others started to speak slowly at first, then faster. Memories spilled from their mouths like broken dams. My father used to talk about stars before the war. My granddaughter used to draw pictures of giant alien towers, ... I saw them. I saw them take the oceans. The fire burned low, but the truth burned hot. The town changed that night. As Eli rested under a tree, he heard a voice beside him, a girl with dark hair and a strong gaze. My name's Mara. I saw everything. My parents did too. You want to help? He smiled. Good, because more people are waking up. In the sky, the Alcar watched. Inside their control ship, Commander Telvix clenched his claws. The memory smoke is infecting more towns. One officer said. Then we burn the sources, Telvix growled. Find the center. Destroy the seed. They tracked the vines across the land, following their roots back to the hill where Eli had planted the first seed. They sent a small strike team to destroy the ship, but the plants had grown too strong. When the Alcar soldiers landed near the hill, vines whipped up from the soil and grabbed them. The glowing roots dug into their armor. Strange pulses ran through the vines. And then, silence. Cora appeared above the ship, watching. Lies cannot take root here anymore. News spread of the attack. People realized it wasn't a storm, wasn't fake, it was real. The Empire had returned. This time humanity was waking up in time. Cora spoke through the vines to cities and towns. Her voice came from trees, flowers, even small roots breaking through sidewalk cracks. This is your world, she said. Your story, your memory. Take it back. In farms, in streets, in schools, people planted the seeds. Some crushed the dried leaves into powder and shared them in markets. Everywhere the green smoke spread, eyes opened. In an old bunker, an ex-soldier found a broken device in his father's chest, lit up with the signal from the plants. He rebuilt it and used it to connect to others like him. Soon, old rebel. Groups formed again, with guns, but with memory. Mara and Eli traveled together now. Town by town, they spread the truth. Mara carried stories, Eli carried seeds. People followed them, not as leaders, but as reminders. They weren't starting a war, they were ending a lie. And far above Earth, the Alcar fleet burned hotter with. Each passing hour, the enemy didn't fear weapons, they feared remembering. Mara and Eli reached the edge of a wide valley. Below them were rows of green plants glowing softly in the dark. What once was dry land was now filled with thick vines and blooming memory flowers. The soil shimmered faintly. Everywhere they looked, something was growing faster than normal, faster than nature. Eli turned to Mara. This is happening all over the world. Mara nodded. People are planting everywhere. The more they remember, the more they grow. It's like the earth itself wants to help. Cora's voice came through the vines nearby. It's not just the earth. The roots carry power from old times. They connect to ancient systems buried under the surface systems we once built before the fall. Mara stepped forward. You mean technology? Yes, Cora answered. Ships, weapons, shields. We hid them deep, so the Alcar couldn't find them. But now that the truth is returning, they are waking up. The ground rumbled. One of the hills in the distance split open. Dust and green light poured out. Slowly, a ship began to rise. It looked like a long spear made of metal and plant vines. It didn't roar or burn it, simply floated upward with smooth grace. Eli and Mara stared in silence. Then more hills split. More ships rose all across the world. The same thing was happening. Ancient human warships wrapped in memory-grown vines were awakening. Some came from old forests, others from dry deserts. Even underwater, strange shapes started to glow and rise. Cora spoke again, this time to every human tuned into her signal. Her voice echoed from vines, roots, leaves, and even dreams. You were once warriors of light and knowledge, she said. Your enemies took your memory, but they could not take your soul. These ships are your soul's answer, not to conquer, but to stand. People came together. Old pilots remembered how to fly. Engineers understood strange systems without training. Children touched panels and felt like they had known them forever. Mara looked at one of the smaller ships beside them. Can we fly one? Yes, Cora said. This one is yours. It's called the Emberleaf. The ship opened like a flower. Inside was soft green light, simple controls, and chairs shaped from smooth vines. Eli and Mara stepped inside. The ship hummed softly, as if welcoming them home. They lifted into the sky with the other new ships. Together, they formed a strange but beautiful fleet, half nature, half machine. People across the galaxy saw it. Small alien stations watched in shock as Earth's skies filled with green fire. The memory fleet was back. On the Alcar command ship, Commander Telvik screamed. How are they flying those ships? We destroyed their technology. We erased their memory, another officer said slowly. But not their roots. And now, The roots fight back. Telvik stared at the screen. Send in the destroyers. We'll wipe out the entire planet if we must. Akora had planned for that too. She activated the sky shield. Above Earth, the Green Fleet joined together. Her ships linked through vines and memory systems. They formed a shield made of light and living energy. It wasn't made to attack. It was made to protect. The Alcar destroyers arrived in high orbit. They fired giant plasma beams at Earth. But the shield bent the energy, caught it, and threw it back. The destroyers were hit by their own weapons. They've mirrored our... Fire, shouted one Alcar pilot. Another ship exploded. Alcar panicked. They had never seen defense like this, not from humans. Eli and Mara flew near the shield's edge. Through the ship's screen, they saw everything: the stars, the Alcar. The new fleet glowing green in the night. This isn't war, Mara said. It's balance. No, Eli replied. This is memory. This is what they feared all along. Below them, more humans joined the fight. Not with violence, but with connection. More seeds were planted, more dreams were shared. The truth was becoming a wave too large to stop. In small villages, people lit fires and danced around the smoke. Old songs, once lost, were sung again. Elders remembered words they had never spoken before. Children learned names of heroes long gone. The earth itself felt different, more awake. In the skies, the Green Fleet didn't chase the enemy. They simply stood, strong and glowing, like a forest that refused to fall. Cora's voice whispered to Eli and Mara through their ship. You've done more than remember. You've helped others remember too, and that is how you win. Alcar tried one final strike, a super weapon ship known as the Dusklaw. It had never failed in battle. It aimed straight for the memory network on Earth. But as it charged its weapon, something strange happened. The memory vines reached it. No one had seen vines grow through space before. But they did now. They crawled across the sky like green lightning, wrapping around the Dusklaw's hull. The alien metal turned soft. The weapon shut down. And inside the ship, the crew saw visions of humans they had once enslaved, begging, bleeding, resisting. The Alcar crew screamed and shut their eyes. But the memories wouldn't leave. The Dusklaw went silent. Commander Telvik stared at his screen in disbelief. We've lost. He fell into his chair, trembling, and on Earth, under a sky filled with soft green light, Eli looked at Mara and said, We didn't need to fight to destroy them. We just needed them to see what they did. And now, the galaxy was watching. After the Green Fleet stopped the Alcar attack, the galaxy was shocked. No one had expected humans to fight like this. Many leaders called for a great council to decide what to do next. They wanted to judge the humans, but first they wanted to hear their story. Eli and Mara were invited to the Grand Hall on a huge space station far from Earth. The hall was filled with many alien species, all watching silently. Some had sharp eyes, others had many arms, and a few had glowing skin. None had seen humans like these before, strong, calm, and full of memory. As Eli stepped forward, he felt the weight of history on his shoulders. He looked at Mara, who smiled softly, giving him courage. I am Eli, he began, his voice steady. My mother planted seeds. These seeds carry the memory of our people. They woke us from lies and silence. We remember who we are. We remember what was taken from us. He showed videos from Earth of burning cities, of ancient ships rising, from the ground of people breathing in the green smoke and waking from long forgetfulness. The crowd watched, some shocked, some curious. The Alcar Eli continued, enslaved humanity 10,000 years ago, not with chains or weapons, but with memory erasure. They rewrote our history, erased our heroes, and made us forget our past. But the truth lived in our blood and in the plants we grow. Mara added, We do not seek war. We seek justice. We want peace with honor. We want the galaxy to remember us, not as slaves, but as equals. Many aliens whispered among themselves. One elder from a distant star system stood up. We too were enslaved by the Alcar, she said quietly, and we were saved when your signal came through the stars. Eli nodded. The green smoke is more than just plants. It's a memory, a link between all who suffered. Together, we can end the empire that lies. The council leader, a tall blue alien with many eyes, asked sharply, "And what of your ships? These green vessels that move like living forests? Do you plan to use them for conquest?" Eli shook his head. "Our ships are not weapons of war. They protect, they heal. They are made from our history and hope." But the Alcar ambassador sneered. "These humans are liars. Ships are death machines. Their plants are poisons. If you accept them, you will invite chaos." Before the council could decide, a sudden alarm went off outside the hall. A group of rebels, loyal to the old empire, tried to sabotage the peace talks. They believed the Alcar should crush humanity once and for all. Eli and Mara quickly led a team to stop them. Using the knowledge from Korra and the power of the memory plants, they stopped the attackers without violence, their vines captured, the rebels gently showing them visions of the past, making them remember the pain of enslavement. After the chaos, Eli returned to the council. "Violence only repeats the past," he said. "Our strength is in memory and mercy." The council was silent, thinking deeply. Slowly, the leader spoke. "We have seen your truth. The Green Fleet does not seek to conquer, but to restore. We will grant humanity a seat among us." Cheers and gasps filled the hall. Some aliens stood, applauding. Others looked away, unsure. Eli smiled but stayed humble. "Thank you. It is only the beginning." Outside the council chamber, many aliens approached Eli and Mara, asking questions, offering help, or simply thanking them for their courage. Back on Earth, the green plants continued to grow. People felt connected to each other and the universe in a way they never had before. Schools taught the old history. Artists painted stories of the past. The planet healed. But Eli knew the Alcar Empire was not finished. Small groups still resisted, hiding in shadows, planning revenge. One night, Eli's mother sat beside him. "You did well," she said. "But the real test is ahead. The Empire will try again." Eli looked at the stars. "I'm ready." Mara joined them, placing a hand on Eli's shoulder. "We're all ready." And so, the galaxy's new chapter began, not with war, but with truth, memory, and the hope that no one would ever forget again. The night sky above Earth was clear and bright. Stars twinkled softly, but Eli felt a new light in the air, a green glow that seemed to come from the planet itself. The memory plants had spread everywhere, connecting people like never before. Eli stood on the same hill where the first seeds were planted. Beside him was Mara and his mother. The ancient ship Korra rested silently, its vines pulsing gently. The Green Fleet had grown, protecting Earth and sending signals across the galaxy. "We did it," Eli said quietly. His mother smiled. "We remembered, and remembering is freedom." But the victory had not come without cost. Many had fought, many had sacrificed. The Alcar Empire was shattered, but some still hid in the dark corners of space. Waiting for a chance to rise again, Eli looked at the stars, feeling the weight of the past and the hope of the future. "The blood debt is paid," he said. "But the story isn't over." Korra's voice echoed softly. "Your people are free now, but freedom means responsibility. You must guard the memory so it never fades again." The green vines around the ship shimmered. Small seedlings sprouted near Eli's feet, symbols of new life and new beginnings. Far in the galaxy, former enemies sent messages of peace. They respected the humans now, not for their power, but for their strength to remember and forgive. Alliances were made, and old wounds began to heal. On Earth, communities built new homes using the green technology. Cities became forests, and forests became cities. People lived in harmony with nature and the ancient machines they had awakened. Eli and Mara traveled across the world, helping others unlock their memories and connect with the Green Network. Now children learned stories of their ancestors and the battles fought long ago. Elders shared wisdom and hope. One evening, as Eli walked through a field of glowing plants, he felt a soft touch on his shoulder. It was Mara. "Do you think we'll ever be truly safe?" she asked. Eli looked up at the stars. Maybe not. But now we have each other, and we have memory. And that is stronger than any empire. Ah! His mother joined them, carrying a small pouch of seeds. Plant these where the next generation will grow, so they remember, and so the green never dies. Eli took the seeds and smiled. The debt is paid. But the promise continues. The three stood together, watching the green light spread across the valley. A living reminder that the past was never lost stand, that humanity's spirit could never be chained. And somewhere beneath the earth, the last seed waited quietly, ready to bloom when the time came again.